It's the final week of the 2025 NFL season, and for the Chiefs, this is not a victory lap.
No, not at all.
It feels more like an emergency session, a staggering, just gut-wrenching 5-game losing streak has completely evaporated their playoff hopes.
And now they just limp into this rivalry showdown against the Raiders.
Yeah, and for you, the fan, who's just watched unprecedented dominance for the last half-decade, this sudden collapse, it feels less like a dip and, I don't know, more like a franchise-wide shudder.
Absolutely. And the question hanging over everyone is pretty stark, isn't it?
It is. It's, can this sputtering, frustrated offense even function against a hungry rival without its two most critical cogs?
And that's the key. 2 cogs. We're talking about a potential double whammy here that really just cuts through the team's identity.
At the line of scrimmage and on the perimeter.
Exactly. The headline is obviously Xavier Worthy, their speediest weapon, but the bigger tactical blow. It might just be losing their anchor on the offensive line, Trey Smith.
So this game, it kicks off at 4:25 p.m. ET at Allegiant Stadium. It means nothing for the standings, but
It means everything for Pride. Everything. If they finish this year losing 6 straight games, that baggage is going to define the entire offseason conversation.
from free agency all the way to the draft. So our mission in this deep dive is to, extract the hard data from our sources, cut through the panic, and figure out what these losses actually mean.
Both for Sunday and, I think, more importantly, for the identity of this organization moving forward.
Okay, so let's start with the immediate personnel crisis, because it really is a two-pronged attack on the offense's whole structure.
It is.
First, the speed element. Xavier Worthy, the 22-year-old receiver, is listed as doubtful. Illness. He missed all 3 practices this week.
Which is a huge red flag right there.
A huge red flag. He played last week in that heartbreaking loss to the Broncos, but he was completely ineffective.
Yeah, 0 catches on 3 targets. I mean, a total non-factor.
And when head coach Andy Reid, the ultimate maestro of keeping things hidden, was pressed about Worthy on Friday, he gave the classic tight-lipped answer. We'll see.
Right. And in coach speak, that non-answer, it just screams concern. It signals that the team is deeply, deeply worried about that void.
The void left by their only consistent vertical threat.
But wait, if we're really analyzing the tactical damage here, the biggest blow for Sunday might not even be the speed on the perimeter.
You're talking about up front.
It's the lack of stability up front. 2-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman Trey Smith is officially out. Ankle injury.
Oof.
And you can design all the explosive plays you want, all the deep passes, the quick slants, but if Patrick Mahomes is running for his life 2 seconds after the snap, none of that genius matters.
So Smith's absence is just a massive operational failure.
It is. It makes every single play call, every single decision exponentially riskier.
So think about the immediate tactical problem this combination presents. You, the fan, you're watching on Sunday. You lose Smith, a powerful anchor who sets the tone, and at the same time you lose Worthy, the engine of your deep threat.
The guy who forces safeties to backpedal before the play even starts. You're facing a hungry, motivated Raiders defense, and you are relying on backup.
Backups both up front and on the perimeter.
And if you remove the threat of running consistently and the threat of going deep, what happens? The defense gets to play incredibly aggressive, shallow coverage.
Choking the life out of those short, precise, timing-based routes that have defined their dynasty.
Exactly. It just creates a situation where consistency is almost impossible to find.
We really need to zoom in on Worthy for a moment, because his talent and his slump, it kind of tells the whole story of this frustrating season.
It really does.
He was a first-round pick in 2024 out of Texas, and it was primarily because of that blazing, almost unbelievable speed.
And here's the number that you need to know. The specific detail that makes his absence so concerning. He ran a 4.21 second 40-yard dash at the combine.
Which is it's not just fast.
No, it's supersonic. It's a weapon of mass tactical distraction. That speed was the centerpiece of his entire rookie campaign.
And now we have the data that just confirms the severity of his sophomore slump. And it's a painful contrast.
Lay it out for us.
In his 2024 rookie season, he was a genuine revelation. 17 games, 13 starts, 59 catches, 638 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns.
And he had that ground game element, too.
Right, 20 carries for 104 yards and 3 more rushing scores. He was this versatile, terrifying threat.
And now, 2025.
Now we look at the season we're wrapping up. 14 games, production dips to 42 receptions for 532 yards and just 1 touchdown.
1. That is stunning.
It's a stunningly low figure.
But wait, let me push back just a little here. Is that statistical dip entirely on Worthy's performance?
That's a fair question.
Or is it evidence that the rest of the supporting cast, combined with, the offensive line degradation we just discussed, allow defenses to completely neutralize him?
I think it's the latter. Tougher defenses keyed in, no doubt, but the sources imply a broader systemic failure.
Right. When your rushing yards per game drop, your line play gets worse, and Travis Kelce is double-teamed relentlessly.
Worthy is forced into tougher, tighter coverage because Mahomes has less time to wait for those deep routes to even open up.
A typical sophomore slump is one thing, but this feels like a broader failure in the offense to protect its quarterback and distribute the ball effectively.
Which brings us to the core identity of this team, the offensive system itself. That beautiful, complex clockwork under Andy Reid.
A demanding mix of classic West Coast timing with modern RPO schemes.
And that system demands leverage. It demands that the opponent defend every single blade of grass.
And without Worthy stretching the field, that fundamental demand it vanishes.
Explain that. When Worthy is on the field, even if he's just a decoy.
He forces a deep safety to move backwards, period.
And that deep safety moving back creates a vacuum in the middle of the field.
And that is classic Travis Kelce territory. The sources show that during this slump, Kelce's targets are there, but his yards after catch have plummeted.
Because defenders are cheating forward.
They're cheating forward. They know the vertical threat is either compromised or it's just too slow to develop because of the protection issues. This isn't just a Worthy issue, it's a Kelce efficiency issue.
Stemming directly from the lack of perimeter speed in that collapsing pocket, and this is where the statistical pain becomes visceral.
Okay, let's hear the numbers.
Look at the numbers that define the dynasty versus this disaster. In 2022, this offense was averaging a staggering 29.6 points per game.
29.6, a machine.
This year. That average has dipped to around 24 points per game.
That is a 5-point drop. I mean, think about that. That's an entire field goal and a 2-point conversion every single game.
That margin of lost efficiency is the difference between consistent dominance and the desperation they felt in these last 5 weeks.
And the whole methodology is broken because the protection is inconsistent. If you're struggling to run the ball, which the stats confirm, and your quarterback is under pressure,
Especially with Smith out.
the entire foundation of the RPO system just crumbles. The run-pass option is based on a fast read and immediate execution by Mahomes. If he's getting pushed off his spot, those reads turn into forced throws, checkdowns, or sacks.
Which leads directly to that drop in offensive efficiency.
And that forced play mentality has completely exposed the defense, too.
How so?
Well, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo runs a high-risk, high-reward defense, heavy on aggressive blitz packages.
Which only works if your offense can sustain drives and keep them fresh.
Exactly. When the offense sputters at 24 points per game and is constantly turning the ball over, going 3 and out, the defense is on the field longer. The secondary, which has allowed more yards per game this season, it just starts cracking under the sheer volume.
Spagnuolo's defense lives and dies by pressure.
It does. The problem is when you blitz and they blitz constantly, you leave your corners on islands.
Last year, that coverage held up.
It held up. This year, that small increase in yards allowed per game is devastating because they aren't forcing the timely turnovers to bail out a stagnant offense. The whole unit is feeling the strain.
So tactically for this Sunday, how do they overcome this massive hole? You lose Worthy, you lose Smith.
Well, the expected solution is that the offensive burden falls almost entirely on Marquez Hollywood Brown. He has to be the deep threat now.
And maybe some rookies step up in desperation?
Maybe, but more fundamentally, they have to lean on the intermediate game Travis Kelce more than ever and execute quick throws. It's damage control.
Speaking of damage control, let's inject some emotional fuel here and look at the opponent. This isn't just any game.
No, it's the Raiders.
It's the Raiders. This Chiefs-Raiders feud is the definition of bad blood, all the way back to the 1960s.
Yeah, this rivalry is the perfect crucible for testing that arrowhead spirit everyone talks about. For the fan who understands the history, this game is a referendum on their culture.
An organization built on layers of success, from Len Dawson to this modern dynasty with 3 Super Bowl wins.
Right. And this 5-game collapse fundamentally challenges that expectation of excellence that names like Mahomes, Kelce, Derek Thomas, that they've all established.
And the fact they're missing the playoffs in 2025 is not just a statistical anomaly. The source material calls it a wake-up call.
It is. The AFC West is no longer a guaranteed walkover. You have the Chargers with Justin Herbert, the Broncos nipping at their heels.
Years of dominance clearly bred some complacency, and now they're dealing with an early, unexpected exit.
But here's the optimistic pivot for 2026. The sources suggest there is a reason for optimism, and I think legitimately so.
Mahomes is still in his prime.
He'll be just 30 next year. Andy Reid isn't retiring, the core genius is there, and there's a strong prediction that Worthy will have a monster comeback year in 2026.
Adversity can be the best teacher for young talent.
Exactly. It forces you to refine your technique when raw speed isn't enough anymore.
And that emotional element, the next man up mantra, the Arrowhead spirit, that's what this final game is all about.
It's a chance to show the system and the culture are stronger than any single injury or slump. You don't get the playoffs, but you get to spoil a rival's momentum.
And maybe more importantly, avoid the crushing psychological weight of a 6-game skid heading into a crucial offseason.
So the final synthesis here is pretty clear. The Chiefs have the genius and the quarterback to adapt. But the immediate practical concern is massive investment.
In the offensive line.
How quickly can they rebuild that offensive line depth, which proved so brittle this year, and solidify the receiving core to make sure Mahomes is protected? That rebuild starts the day after this Raiders game.
Which brings us to the core dilemma for you to mull over as this lost season ends. Given the team's statistical dip, the clear degradation of the O-line, and the immense pressure on Mahomes, is securing a higher draft pick right now by potentially losing a meaningless rivalry game actually the true silver lining?
That is a fascinating question.
If this early exit in 2025 provides the bitter medicine they need to get the draft capital for an absolute monster comeback in 2026,
then maybe this failure is exactly what they needed to reset and restock the shelves.
something to think about as they look toward that draft.